the notorious first ancestor of the demonic sect. The family members of his disciples have been kidnapped twice in a row. How could he, with a fiery temper, endure this? He immediately sent his little disciple to kill the local gang, Azure Dragon Association. After Xia Yuan left, Lu Zhou also began to live a leisurely elderly life. From his memories, Ji Tiandao met Yuan when he first arrived in the city of Anyan. He wanted to take her as his disciple at that time, but her parents opposed it. Later, somehow, her parents actually sent Xia Yuan up the mountain themselves. Thinking of this, he asked Wang Fugue, "What enemies has the Xi family made over the years?" Wang Fugue respectfully answered, "None at all, not even 5 years ago." After hearing this, he thought carefully, "Are you talking about the Morong family? 5 years ago, the Morong family and the Xi family were like water and fire. At that time, both families had properties and businesses in the 3 major southern provinces of Great Yin. Master had focused all his efforts on his businesses, which made him a wealthy man. Later, due to competition, the Xi family and the Morong family became mortal enemies. Cultivators should not interfere in worldly matters, but some people are blinded by greed. As a result, the master and his wife were often the targets of assassination." Hearing this, Lu Zhou asked if this kidnapping incident might also be the work of the Morong family. Wang Fugue hesitated for a moment, answering, "This humble one dares not make a rash judgment." Lu Zhou then picked up a handful of feed and scattered it on the ground. The cultivation base of a cultivator who can kidnap all the people in a family would not be lower than the 4 meridian stage of the Brahma Sea realm. Are there any cultivators in the Morong family? On the surface, there's none, but behind the scenes, I don't know either. While the two were talking, a figure suddenly flashed through the air. Xia Yuan landed in the courtyard with a bang. Seeing this, Lu Zhou scolded, "Why not use the front door instead of climbing the roof?" Xia Yuan stuck out her tongue, answering, "Using the front door requires knocking and opening. Climbing the roof is more convenient. Don't do this again." How did the matter go? Hearing this, Xia Yuan blinked her big eyes and looked over. They were very obedient. They said they would definitely find the lakeside gang. "Didn't you fight them?" Hearing this, she giggled. "No, the leader was very friendly. He called me lady and promised to find the lakeside gang's whereabouts within 3 days." "Grandpa, don't look at me like that. I swear I'm telling the truth." That's exactly what he said. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed, and Xia Yuan went to the Azure Dragon Association again. Wang Fugue, who was cleaning the courtyard, was worried. "Sir, will Miss be in danger going alone?" Lu Zhou replied indifferently, "You should be more worried about the safety of the Azure Dragon Association members." As soon as he finished speaking, a series of prompt sounds suddenly rang in his ears. Killing a villain, merit points +10. After a long time, he frowned and sighed. Yuaner's temper can never calm down. With the rewards from disciplining disciples and completing tasks, he now had over 1,000 merit points. Xia Yuan had killed at least 50 villains. He didn't expect her to handle the matter properly. Moreover, from Wang Fugui's mouth, he learned that the Azure Dragon Association had been committing evil deeds, and the people were deeply affected. All dared to be angry but did not dare to speak. Behind them, the Netherworld sect supported them, becoming a major scourge in the city of Anyan. Killing them was not something to be sympathized with. With this thought, he arranged for Wang Fugue to go to the Morong family to inquire about any recent movements. With this token, no one dares to stop you. You go. Wang Fugue, who received the token, hurriedly left. Although the items brought by the system had disappeared, the good things robbed from the world were still there. The token of the Imperial Army was one of them. Time quickly reached the afternoon, and Xia Yuan rushed back. She landed with a bang, startling Lu Zhou, who was napping in a chair. Xia Yuan playfully came to Lu Zhou's side. "Kneel down." Lu Zhou scolded with a frown. "Master, I know I was wrong. I shouldn't have killed people." Seeing her master angry, Xia Yuan obediently knelt down. "I'm not blaming you. I've told you this is your home, and you should use the front door. Did you take my words as the wind passing by your ears? I know I was wrong. I was in such a hurry to come back that I forgot. I promise I won't make the same mistake again." Lu Zhou ignored her words, continuing to scold. "Your nature is good, but you can't have no rules at all. Your parents aren't here, so as your master, I will teach you properly." Hearing this, Xia Yuan could only lie down on the stone, obediently. With a smack, he suddenly slapped her, but because of her protective aura, it didn't hurt at all. Seeing her playful appearance, Lu Zhou snorted coldly, "Disperse your protective aura." Xia Yuan wanted to beg for mercy, but realizing her master was really angry, she had to follow his instructions. After the aura disappeared, Xia Yuan became a completely ordinary person. It's okay to be free by nature, but you can't have no rules at all. It was fine on the mountain, but being so high profile in the city of Anyang could easily expose her identity. She must be punished to teach her a lesson. As Lu Zhou continued to strike, the courtyard echoed with screams. Smack! get up. Seeing her pitiful appearance, Lu Zhou fell into deep thought. In his memory, Ji Tiandao had never hit Yuan from the 1st to the 8th. Each one was beaten black and blue by Ji Tiandao. Some even suffered severe injuries. She had been away from her parents since childhood. The care from her senior brothers and senior sisters was limited. They couldn't replace her parents, so she could only rely on her master. Now, her most respected master had hit her. How could she not feel wronged? Master, it really hurts, Xia Yuan muttered, wiping away her tears. Pain is good. Forget the big principles I taught you before. Remember what I say from now on. Have a candy. It won't hurt after you eat it. I know, Xia Yuan said, taking the candy and stuffing it into her mouth. She then recounted what happened at the Azure Dragon Association. The Azure Dragon Association said there was no lakeside gang. It was a group of cultivators disguised on purpose. They lied and even invited helpers from the E province to kill me. I was seized by anger, so I beat them. No, I killed them. They even invited experts. If I hadn't fought back, I might never see you again. Lu Zhou, hearing this, gave her an annoyed glance. Who could bully you without reaching the divine court realm? Then he calculated the time and realized something was wrong. Wang Fuguei should have returned by now, but there was no sign of him. Thinking of this, he spoke. Wang Fuguei hasn't returned. Come with me for a walk. Xia Yuan, hearing this, agreed. She obediently followed him out. At this moment, in Yanyu Palace, 5th disciple Zhao Yu paced back and forth, irritated. 6th disciple Yi Tianqin, seeing this, comforted her. It's too late for regrets now. We can only go all the way. Zhao Yu, hearing this, frowned and replied, Sister Tianqin, if we had done this a month ago, I wouldn't worry. That old man has always been hot-tempered. His actions are selfish. But recently, his style has changed a lot. Yi Tianqin became interested. How did it change? I can't say for sure, but I vaguely feel that his methods have softened a lot. His temper doesn't seem as explosive either. Maybe I'm overthinking it. You kidnapped the CI family members. Will he take the bait? Yi Tianqin chuckled. Given that old man's character, it's unlikely he'll take the bait, but our junior sister is pure-hearted. She's only been away from home for 5 years. If she learns about this, she will definitely return to the city of Anyan. By then, capturing our junior sister will suffice. Once that old man leaves Jinting Mountain, without the protection of our 3 senior brothers, and the barrier, I'll have countless ways to exhaust his trump cards. Hearing this, Zhao Yu's eyes lit up. She quickly asked how to exhaust his trump cards. Yi Tianqin paused, then slowly said, there are many famous and righteous families in the world. Many have suffered at his hands. If I spread his news, what do you think the famous families will do? Especially since Heavenly Sword Sex Luo Chanfeng died at the hands of that old man. But what if they're all afraid? Zhao Yu couldn't help but shiver. Last time, she witnessed the 10 great experts and tens of thousands of cultivators fleeing in panic. That scene, perhaps only their master could achieve such a feat in the world. Yi Tianqin had thought of this as well. I've already informed the 10 great families about the old man's secret drug. The 9 great experts are not fools. Once they understand the key to this situation, they will return sooner or later. As they spoke, a subordinate hurriedly entered, reporting to the palace master. We received news from Anyan. The Azure Dragon Association has been wiped out, and the Imperial Army's token has appeared in the city of Anyan. We don't know who did it. Judging from the traces of the fight left at the scene, the attacker should be a cultivator who has opened all 8 meridians of the Brahma Sea realm. Hearing this, Zhao Yu started to analyze the situation. Could it be Xia Yuan's doing? Our junior sister is a divine court realm expert. It's possible for her to wipe out the Azure Dragon Association, given her temperament, but she wouldn't hide her cultivation level. What if the old man left Jinting Mountain with her? Yi Tianqin waved her hand dismissively and said, it's unlikely. However, to be on the safe side, I'll send someone to investigate the CI family immediately. Have someone with this portrait lurk near the CI residence in the city of Anyan. Report back immediately if you find any traces of these 2. As for the token of the Imperial Army, it's not important. There are only 2 possibilities. Someone has faked it or the Emperor is here but dressed as a commoner. However, Great Yan has been plagued by wars in the recent years, so the Emperor wouldn't do something so risky. A smile appeared on Yi Tianqin's lips. So, senior sister, don't worry, everything is under my control. Meanwhile, Lu Zhou and Xia Yuan were on their way to the Moron residence. He looked at her and warned, Xia Yuan, you've been too high profile. You might have attracted people's attention. From now on, you'll do whatever I tell you to do. Yes, Master, Xia Yuan obediently replied. Yuan, what would you do if the mastermind behind the kidnapping of the CI family is your senior brothers and sisters? Hearing this, Xia Yuan was hesitant to believe it. No, they've been so good to me. How could they bear to kidnap my parents? Lu Zhou sighed. She was still too naive. Soon after, the 2 arrived at the Moron residence. Master, I'll knock on the door. No need. Just kick it open. The guards inside the courtyard were conducting their daily training, but the next second, a loud bang echoed as the door was kicked open. An old and a young figure appeared before everyone's eyes. It took a moment for the guards to react. How dare you kick the door of the Moron residence? Take them down. Hearing this, Lu Zhou waved his arm forward and slowly said, "Fight! I like this." Xia Yuaner, having been beaten by her master, had been looking for a place to vent her anger. This was exactly what she wanted. She dashed into the crowd like lightning, sending guards flying with each kick. In a matter of moments, the courtyard was filled with screams. "Master, they're not very durable," said Xia Yuaner, returning to her master's side with a hint of disappointment. Lu Zhou replied indifferently, "A divine court realm expert bullying a group of quenched body realm guards. There's nothing worth boasting about." The commotion outside caught the attention of the people inside. When the Moron family's patriarch, Moron Hai, saw the scene, his eyes turned cold. He tentatively asked, "Who are you?" Lu Zhou glanced at him and inquired, "Is Wang Fugue here?" Upon hearing the name, Moron Hai replied with disdain, "Wang Fugue has been arrested for forging a military token and handed over to the authorities." Lu Zhou frowned slightly. "Xia Yuaner, make him speak properly." "Yes, master," Xia Yuaner said cheerfully, turning to face the man opposite. Several people saw this, and they picked up their own weapons, eager to fight. "Where did you come from, you wild girl?" But as soon as the words were spoken, his pupils suddenly enlarged in disbelief. Xia Yuaner was now releasing bursts of strong gales from within her body, forcing several people to lie on the ground unable to move under this hurricane-like pressure. What? She's actually a Brahma Sea Realm 8 Meridians expert. Realizing the danger, Moron Hai couldn't stop sweating in fear. "You seem to be more resistant to beatings," Xia Yuaner said, and she was about to deliver another blow. Moron Hai immediately raised his hands and begged for mercy. Don't. Wang Fugue is fine. I'll bring him out right away." Soon, a battered and bruised Wang Fugue was brought before them. Xia Yuaner looked at him and was instantly displeased. She clenched her small fist, snorted coldly, "Who beat Wang Fugue? Was it you?" Moron Hai quickly explained that it wasn't him. "I have no grudge against you. Why would I do this?" "It's you," Xia Yuaner said, raising her fist and striking. At this time, Lu Zhou spoke indifferently. "Do you know anything about the kidnapping of the CI family? Don't be in a hurry to answer. If I think you're lying, Xia Yuaner, break his legs." "All right, Grandpa." Hearing that she could beat someone, Xia Yuaner was extremely excited. Moron Hai quickly agreed, and told them everything he knew. Although the Moron family had a long-standing feud with the CI family, they couldn't kidnap more than 100 members of the CI family overnight. This powerful force had the support of powerful cultivators. "Old man, listen to my advice. Don't provoke those people." Hearing this, Lu Zhou's eyes brightened. "Do you know them?" "Not very clear, but I know that these cultivators have something to do with Jinting Mountain." "Do you know about Jinting Mountain, old man?" Hearing this, Lu Zhou shook his head, not knowing much about it. "You tell me about it. You've never even heard of Jinting Mountain." Looking at the old man's aura and posture, "You're probably a reclusive cultivator, the kind of practitioner who is isolated from the world, right?" Moron Hai finished his speculation and continued to speak. Jinting Mountain is home to a demonic ancestor, with 9 disciples under his command. Each one of them is a famous demon in the world. The group of cultivators who kidnapped the CI family is likely connected to some of the demons from Jinting Mountain. They kill without blinking, and are utterly evil. I see the old man has a kind face and treats people kindly. Please don't provoke them." Hearing this, Xia Yuaner couldn't help but laugh, which made Lu Zhou somewhat helpless. What's so funny about such a serious topic? Never mind her. Continue speaking. Moron Hai paused and continued speaking. "The Lakeside Gang is indeed a non-existent gang. 2 days before the kidnapping of the CI family, they scouted in Anyan and used more than 30 people." Hearing this, Lu Zhou was a bit puzzled. "How did you know? If the other party is a fake sect, their goal is not to be known, but they let the Moron family know so easily. Isn't this contradictory?" Hearing this, Moron Hai's face showed embarrassment. "To tell you the truth, among the hostages taken, there were also people from my Moron family. Old man, please show mercy. I promise that from now on, I will no longer be an enemy of the CI family." After hearing this, Lu Zhou slowly turned around. "One last question. Can you track the hostages?" Moron Hai hesitated, stammering and unsure, until he saw the other party staring coldly at him. He finally answered honestly, "Yes, I can. Go back. Take him with you, and don't forget the token of the Imperial Army." Lu Zhou said and stopped staying, calling Xia Yuaner to leave. "This dragon pattern is so beautiful." Xia Yuaner took the token from Moron Hai's hand and played with it for a moment. Lu Zhou explained, "This is the exclusive dragon pattern of the token of the Imperial Army, the only symbol to identify its authenticity. Put it away, and don't be too ostentatious." What? The token is real? Moronghai was so scared he wet himself upon hearing this. You honor. Tomorrow morning, take Moronghai with you to rescue your clansmen. Upon hearing her master's words, Sia Yuaner hurriedly complied. Time quickly passed, and it was evening. When Lu Zhou returned to Sia Mansion and had nothing to do, he started using the system to draw rewards. This time, he spent 50 merit points and received 3 reversal cards. Although happy, he felt somewhat cheated by the system. The subsequent draws all resulted in "thank you for your patronage," which made him feel frustrated again. This is addictive. I must restrain myself from drawing. If I draw 10 times and don't get a single reversal card, it's still a loss. He then used all 3 reversal cards. As a result, his remaining lifespan was 5,507 days. The recovery of his lifespan also improved his eyesight, but as he rubbed his eyes, everything returned to normal. What's going on? Lu Zhou was puzzled. Could it be the extraordinary power from the Heaven Writings 3 volumes? If so, how can I make use of it? The system had previously hinted that the cultivation method of Heaven Writings 3 volumes was different from the previous one. In other words, all his previous experiences and insights would become worthless. He could only explore on his own. With this thought in mind, he opened the Heaven Writing interface and continued reading. The next morning, several people gathered in the courtyard. Lead the way, Lu Zhou said calmly, with his hands behind his back. Moronghai clapped his hands together, then kept making hand gestures, as if casting some secret technique. After getting the result, he finally stopped. About 10 miles north from here. 10 miles? That's so close? Kidnapping the CI family to a place 10 miles away showed that these cultivators were not afraid of anyone trying to rescue them. There might be a trap. Should we be cautious first? Thinking of this, Lu Zhou shook his head. Grandpa, what are you thinking about? Yuaner asked, puzzled. Nothing, let's go. Wang Fugue had no cultivation, so he was asked to stay at CI Mansion. With that, the group quickly headed towards their destination. 10 miles north of Anyang was the territory of Blue Sun Mountain. It should be here. The mark can't be wrong. The cultivators of the Lakeside Gang should all be stationed here. Hearing Moronghai's words, Lu Zhou spoke indifferently. Yuaner, go save the people. All right. Sia Yuaner revealed a sly smile and swiftly moved towards Blue Sun Mountain, leaving a trail of footprints behind. Seeing this scene, Moronghai was extremely shocked. Brahma Sea Realm 8 Meridians? Such an achievement at such a young age is rare in the world. But at that moment, several dark shadows suddenly rushed out of the woods. We've been waiting for you for a long time. As the words fell, dozens of cultivators appeared in front of Sia Yuaner. Moronghai, who accompanied them, was so scared that he was close to wetting himself. Sir, these are all Brahma Sea Realm 8 Meridians powerhouses. Lu Zhou nodded. I know. After hearing this, Moronghai felt like crying. He was just a weakling who had opened 5 apertures of the Mystic and Lightning Realm. In front of the Brahma Sea Realm, he didn't even have the qualifications to stand. Old sir, should we run away quickly? As for this suggestion, Lu Zhou simply ignored it. His attention was focused entirely on the scene. Yuaner pointed at the opponents and counted them with interest. Seeing this, the leader frowned and said angrily, we never kill nameless people. State your name. 12 Brahma Sea Realm cultivators. Ha! Sia Yuaner finished counting and revealed a smile at the corner of her mouth. Seeing that the other party ignored him, the leader snorted coldly. That senior asks us to kill whoever comes to rescue the hostages. We are paid to solve problems. It's rare for you to achieve such a strong cultivation base at this young age. But too bad you got yourself involved with the CI family. The crowd rushed forward, trapping Sia Yuaner in the middle. Who paid you to do this? Lu Zhou stared at them and asked calmly, who are you, old man? The leader didn't care and sneered upon hearing this, since he realized that both of their realms were low. Knowing that communication was useless, Lu Zhou sighed helplessly. Yuaner, ultimately, in this world, the truth and rules can only be clarified by comparing our strengths. Upon hearing this, Sia Yuaner smiled knowingly. The energy inside her body immediately erupted. Then, with a light tap of her toes, she instantly rushed into the midair. The 12 cultivators were all stunned. This aura, something's wrong. Kill her. Just as the order was given, everyone with weapons surrounded her, but in the next second, the nearest cultivator was hit by a kick. Sia Yuaner's figure was like lightning, leaving after images in the air. Each kick reaped the life of a cultivator. The sound of thumping was endless. Within a few breaths, everyone was kicked and smashed to the ground. The remaining leader saw the scene and was immediately frightened. Need me to help you? Sia Yuaner asked coldly. No, I'll go down myself. With that said, he eliminated his muster energy, and with a thump, fell to the ground. At least this way, he could save his life. Well done, Lu Zhou praised when he saw this. Sia Yuaner, who had landed, excitedly ran over after hearing this. Then, Lu Zhou looked at the man lying on the ground, and asked who the mastermind was. I don't know. The leader hurriedly raised his head and answered, Where are the CI family hostages? They were taken away. By whom? I don't know. Have you ever seen his appearance? I haven't seen it. Kill him. Lu Zhou turned around and shook his head. This person can't be interrogated. The leader hurriedly revealed key information. I'll talk. Don't kill me. The whole CI family is on Blue Sun Mountain, but their family head has been taken away by my employer. I really don't know the identity of my employer. CI Yuaner saw this and approached with a grin. My grandfather is so capable. He confessed everything with just a little scare. Upon hearing this, Lu Zhou spoke indifferently. I didn't scare him. This place is indeed a trap. The mastermind had purposely left behind a message. If he didn't tell us, others would. So, what's the point of sparing his life? The leader turned pale upon hearing this, his face like ashes. Meanwhile, at Yanyu Palace, several female cultivators quickly flew over the mountains to arrive here. Master, we received a letter. An old man and a young girl are approaching the CI family's residence. Have their identities been confirmed? Upon hearing this news, Yi Tianqin and Zhao Yu came out together. They look somewhat similar to the portraits. Similar, as far as I know. Third senior brother has been injured and the righteous sect has sent experts to Jinting Court Mountain. Also, after the death of Luo Changfeng, the sect leader of the Heavenly Sword sect, there has been no one to succeed him. Their former sect leader, Luo Xingkong, is constantly looking for an opportunity to avenge his son. Fourth senior brother alone can never stop a nascent divinity tribulation expert. After listening to Yi Tianqin's words, Zhao Yu understood that this was a good opportunity to exhaust Ji Tiandao's trump card. But what if these two people are not pretending? Upon hearing this, Yi Tianqin chuckled. Wouldn't that fall right into our trap? Just as sixth disciple Yi Tianqin and fifth disciple Zhao Yu were discussing, a flying letter arrived with a piece of news. The cultivators of the Lakeside Gang on Blue Sun Mountain are all dead and the whole CI family, except their family head, have escaped. Yi Tianqin's eyes lit up upon hearing this. The person who can kill all the cultivators of the Lakeside Gang is most likely to be Little Junior's sister. Send a letter to Evil King. Inform him that the plan remains unchanged and to get ready for action. Upon hearing that even the somewhat dazed Old Eighth could become the Evil King, Zhao Yu couldn't help but laugh lightly. Old Eighth was only slightly stronger than Little Yuaner. However, Little Yuaner had just joined the sect for 5 years, and it would not take her long to surpass him. Yi Tianqin sighed helplessly. It is not that Old Eighth is too weak, but that old thing, too strong. Meanwhile, unaware of the situation, Lu Zhou suddenly sneezed. The CI family members all knelt down and expressed their gratitude after being rescued. After receiving the gratitude of more than 100 people, Lu Zhou's merit points increased significantly, which made him feel quite comfortable. CI Yuaner was excited for a while after recognizing her mother. Unfortunately, they didn't have much time to spend together, because there were still people waiting to be saved. After properly settling the CI family members, they set off on their journey again. After the previous battle, Moronghai also admired CI Yuaner's strength. Old Mister, your granddaughter is probably the youngest 8 Meridians Brahma Sea cultivator I've ever seen. I'm certain that she will step into the Divine Court realm in less than 3 years. Upon hearing this flattery, Yuaner looked disdainful. Bah! I remember you were scared out of your wits just now. Moronghai's face showed embarrassment. He was about to say something else, but he saw CI Yuaner staring at him angrily and said, "Oh, you don't think so? Count yourself lucky that you still have some use to us. Otherwise, we would have killed you with a kick now." Seeing this, Moronghai hurriedly caught up with Lu Zhou's pace. It's not easy to talk to a temperamental little girl. The old mister is much more gentle and comfortable. Old mister, why did you send the people of the CI family back to their residence? Wouldn't it be a waste of effort if they were kidnapped by someone again? After hearing this, Lu Zhou replied, "Don't worry, these cultivators' target should not be the CI family." Moronghai nodded and agreed that it made sense. If they wanted money, they would have asked for it. But they didn't, and they did not kill a single hostage, which means what they want is something else. In that case, why did they do this? Just as he was saying this, a messenger bird suddenly flew down from the sky. It's a letter from fourth senior brother. CI Yuaner leaped up and caught it. This time, Lu Zhou didn't let her read it but beckoned for her to pass it over. After reading the letter, his brow furrowed slightly. Send a letter to Old Fourth and tell him to wait for my return. Upon hearing this, CI Yuaner immediately responded. Moronghai, who was watching from the side, had many thoughts. From the way they addressed each other, I guess that this pair of grandfather and granddaughter should be from some sect. The world of Great Yan is boundless, and it was perfectly normal to have 1 or 2 almighty hermits. Not long after, the group arrived at an open area surrounded by mountains on all sides. Lu Zhou carefully observed the surrounding environment, and then spoke loudly, "Come out." The next second, a sinister laugh echoed through the forest. Immediately after, an incredibly powerful aura suddenly surged into the sky. The man was dressed in a black robe with fierce eyes. and he was holding Xia Yuaner's father in his hand. Not good. Run. It might be the demon from Jinting Mountain. Moronghai was terrified and wanted to escape, but it's too late to run. The hoarse voice of the man in the black robe sent shivers down one's spine. Then he unleashed a powerful force, restricting Moronghai's movements. Lu Zhou stared coldly at the man in the black robe, pondering to himself, judging by the fluctuations of his aura, this person is stronger than a Brahma Sea Realm 8 Meridians. He should be a Divine Court Realm powerhouse. But it's not enough for me to use my peak card. The fact that you managed to escape the trap at Blue Sun Mountain proves that you are pretty strong. But unfortunately, that is far from enough. A 2 Apertures Mystic Enlightening Cultivator, an 8th Tier Body Tempering Cultivator, and an 8 Meridians Brahma Sea Cultivator. This seems like a fair deal. The man in the black robe spoke to himself. His tone seemed to be full of disdain. Xia Yuaner's eyes lit up. She was eager to try. This one should be more resilient, but she was stopped by Lu Zhou after only taking 2 steps. Let go of the hostage and leave. I will spare your life. Upon hearing this, the man in the black robe pointed at Lu Zhou. Old man, do you know who you are talking to? Upon hearing this, Lu Zhou spoke indifferently. The 3 Yin styles of the Taoist societies? The man in the black robe was slightly stunned. His intuition told him, this old man was definitely not a quenched body realm eightfold, but rather, he used some technique to hide his aura. You can tell my sect is not simple. Who are you? You are practicing a reverse breathing method which absorbs the energy essence of the heaven and earth through the Laogong acupoints in your arms and accumulates them in your dantian. The method is very easy to master, but it has a flaw: your bones will be filled with chills and you will be in extreme pain for at least 10 days a month. As Lu Zhou said this, he paused for a moment. His eyes narrowed. You only have 3 months left to live. The man in the black robe was incredibly shocked. There were numerous cultivators in this world, and each one of them had their own secrets. Furthermore, they regarded the flaw in their cultivation techniques as the most important secret. Over the past 2 decades, I have poured in all the effort to cultivate the 3 Yin styles, which made me a formidable divine court expert. However, the greater the gains were, the greater the cost would be. How could this old man know this? I'll ask again. Who are you? Hearing this, Lu Zhou smiled faintly. When you betrayed the Tao societies, you had only learned the 3 Yin styles, but not the 6 Yang techniques. The extreme cold needs to be balanced with the extreme yang. It is a miracle that you are still alive today. 6 Yang technique? The man in the black robe was somewhat puzzled. What? You don't know about the 6 Yang technique? Lu Zhou asked him back. Upon hearing this, the man in the black robe suddenly burst into a hysterical laughter. Good one, old man. How dare you spout nonsense to deceive me? Having said that, the man in the black robe's whole body was filled with powerful qi, and he gathered his strength to strike Lu Zhou's position. But in the next second, Yuaner blocked it with a single palm. If you want to hit my grandfather, you have to ask me first. Xia Yuaner also exploded with a sharp qi and repelled the opponent. The man in the black robe was shocked. A divine court realm powerhouse at this age? How is it possible? Xia Yuaner no longer hid her strength, stretched her muscles, and showed a readiness for battle. Then she turned to her grandfather and said, Grandpa, I want to fight him. Up to you, Lu Zhou said, not saying any more. Having received her master's permission, she beckoned the man in the black robe. It's been a long time since I've met such a strong opponent. You better hang in there for a while. Moronghai, who was watching this scene, was somewhat dumbfounded. This is so strange. A little girl is actually provoking a monster. As Xia Yuaner's words fell, she rushed like the wind and kicked the opponent's head. The man in the black robe, who had reacted, hurriedly raised his arm to block, but upon contact, he was forced to retreat by Xia Yuaner's power. Immediately after, she caught up again and kicked him. The man in the black robe adjusted his stance and engaged in a fierce battle with her. The sound of their clashes filled the air. The two moved their battlefield to a more open area. Seeing Moronghai's shocked expression, Lu Zhou spoke indifferently. That's just her temperament. Hearing this, Moronghai couldn't help but smile bitterly. Is this really just temperament? She's like an unleashed demon. Then, Lu Zhou went to check on Xia Yuaner's father and found that he had only fainted and was not injured. Old sir, with such a talented granddaughter, why do you pretend to be weak? Lu Zhou shook his head after hearing this and replied, People's hearts are treacherous. We must be cautious. Upon hearing this, Moronghai respectfully bowed. Old sir has a deep understanding of the world. No wonder you were confident in saving Ci Manor. I have always underestimated you. I have a question that I don't know if I should ask. You are also deliberately hiding your cultivation, right? In his opinion, it was impossible to suppress such a little demon with just charisma and affection alone. Since his granddaughter was a divine court realm powerhouse, The old man in front of him must also be a divine court realm powerhouse. Lu Zhou glanced at him, neither admitting nor denying. Morong-hai immediately understood a bit. Old sir is truly a hidden expert. Upon hearing this, Lu Zhou waved his hand. I'm not really an expert. Seeing this scene, Morong-hai couldn't help but feel emotional. The little girl was capricious and had a fiery temper. He didn't expect her grandfather to be so magnanimous, humble, and low-key. Old sir, forgive me for speaking out of turn. This child has amazing talent and a boundless future. It's a pity that she doesn't understand how to behave in society, said Morong-hai. Hearing this, Lu Zhou glanced at the distant battlefield and replied that he had indeed been thinking about how to teach her the principles of human behavior recently, but he also knew that with Xia Yuaner's temper and personality, it would not be easy to teach her well in just a few days. At this point, the battle between the two was nearing its end. Xia Yuaner excitedly said, "Hey, get up now. That was a good move you just made. Come on, let's fight again." The man in the black robe is lying on the ground, coughing incessantly. He quickly waved his hands. Cough, cough. I won't fight anymore. I won't. Seeing this, Lu Zhou revealed a hint of a smile. It seems they've had enough. That's good. Congratulations, old sir. The CI family is saved. This journey has finally come to an end. Lu Zhou, with a slightly furrowed brow, walked towards the man in the black robe's position. The matter is not over yet. On the contrary, it has just begun. Pan Zhong, what do you think? The man in the black robe, lying on the ground, looked at him in astonishment after hearing this. How do you know my name? Lu Zhou replied indifferently. Let's get back to the point. You could have lived for another 3 months, but if you want to die now, I'll grant your wish. Upon hearing this, Pan Zhong's heart trembled, and he quickly turned over and stood up, vigilantly watching the other party. Although I didn't expect this girl's cultivation to be so profound, killing me is still far from enough. After hearing this, Lu Zhou glanced at him. The true power of the 3 yin styles can only be brought out with the help of the 6 yang technique. You've only learned the 3 yin styles, and that's why you can't get its essence. How come I've never heard of this 6 yang technique before? Xia Yuaner said with some disdain. What's so good about this 6 yang technique? My grandpa knows countless cultivation techniques. Pan Zhong was somewhat speechless. Countless? But just at this moment, the sound of flying swords suddenly came from behind. Looking up, a large number of cultivators had already appeared in the sky with an aggressive momentum. In the middle of the crowd was a red flying chariot. A silver bell-like laughter slowly came from within. Little junior sister, long time no see. Seeing the red flying chariot slowly flying in the sky, Xia Yuaner nervously hid behind her master. Seeing this, Lu Zhou calmly comforted her. There's no need to be afraid. Protect your father. After hearing this, Xia Yuaner nodded and replied, yes, right. Master is still here. What's there to be afraid of? Seeing this scene, Morong-hai's eyes widened in disbelief. It must be an illusion. It's all an illusion. The one who had opened all 8 meridians of the Brahma Sea realm was already an expert. When a cultivator stepped into this realm, he could float in the air, and when he opened all 8 meridians, he could fly in the sky. So how can he not be shocked when there are so many experts flying in the sky? In addition to this, there were no shortage of divine court realm experts, and among them was a flying chariot. The flying chariot was a symbol of status, and only the leader of a powerful force could possess one. In the past, when the 10 great experts besieged Jinting Mountain, only the 10 great experts had flying chariots. So who was this expert riding in the red flying chariot? As he was lost in thought, another voice came from the flying chariot. Little junior sister is growing more and more beautiful. Hearing this familiar voice, Xia Yuaner was so frightened that she quickly ran back behind her master again. Pan Zhong seemed to guess something and swallowed his saliva nervously. Who could make the fierce little girl with profound cultivation afraid? There was only one person he could remember who owned this red flying chariot. Xia Yuaner looked at the figure above angrily and replied, "You big traitor, I am not your junior sister." Hearing this, Yi Tianxin laughed. "Little junior sister, you're still as innocent and adorable as ever." A cultivator greeted Yi Tianxin with a salute and asked, "Palace Master Yi, you told us that the old villain had relied on a secret drug to survive the last attack, and you secretly informed us with letters that he will be here. What I see now is only a little villain. What's the meaning of this? Only a little villain? I'm only about 10 years younger. Yes, my hair has grown darker and my skin is tighter, but my facial features remain the same. Am I that hard to recognize?" Yi Tianxin spoke and lightly touched the ground, slowly descending. At this moment, Lu Zhou also recognized her. Yi Tianxin, nascent divinity tribulation realm, hatred value, 45%. Now the renowned master of the derived moon palace. The 6th disciple, Yi Tianxin, is currently the master of the derived moon palace, who had her name heard by many. It was said that the derived moon palace only had female cultivators and every one of them was gifted. However, they all hated heartless, unfaithful men. No one knew the reason and could not find the answer in his memory either. Surrounded by male cultivators, it was plain that she did not use her own people but outsiders, which was a clever idea. Her temperament and appearance remind me of a poem. The lotus grows in mud, yet is never contaminated by it. The eldest, second, fifth, and seventh disciples had not shown up when I activated a peak form experience card. I only had half an hour, so I must try my best to take down the group of villainous disciples in the peak form. Yi Tianxin, who landed on the ground, looked at Lu Zhou. Master, you've been deceived. Hearing this, the surrounding righteous cultivators all fell silent. Is this the legendary, infamous, and evil patriarch? Did we make a mistake? There seems to be a difference compared to the portrait, but this is personally identified by Yi Tianxin. Morong Hai, who was standing nearby, was even more shocked. I didn't expect this kind-faced old man to be the infamous demonic patriarch. Just kill me. They're all liars. At this moment, Lu Zhou stood with his hands behind his back and spoke calmly. Since you have addressed me as master, I'll give you another chance. Come back to Jingting Court Mountain. You will still be one of my 9 disciples. Yi Tianxin laughed lightly upon hearing this. Master, it is out of respect that I called you master. As for going back to Jingting Court Mountain, you have to ask them first. As soon as these words came out, the entire audience was in an uproar. The surrounding cultivators were all filled with anger and indignation. Old villain, you are lucky to have won the last battle, but you won't be so lucky this time. A secret drug is, after all, a secret drug. Every secret drug that can increase one's cultivation base within a short time has side effects. Don't worry, everybody. No wonder this old villain could use his energy in such a wanton way the last time. Old villain, now is the time for you to die. Surrender yourself. Lu Zhou smiled and didn't pay attention to their words. Instead, he looked at Yi Tianxin and continued to speak. How did you know for sure that I would appear here? Upon hearing this, Yi Tianxin clapped her hands, and a maid brought up a portrait. Looking at the old and decrepit appearance in the portrait, Yi Tianxin laughed and replied, "It's hard to believe that the villainous patriarch who once held sway in the world would disguise himself. Master, would you believe me if I told you that I guessed it?" Lu Zhou looked around and didn't see any other evildoers. He secretly sighed in disappointment. Catching only one evildoer with a peak-level cultivation doesn't seem worth it. However, facing such a situation, there was no room for maneuver. He stroked his beard lightly and spoke calmly. Yi Tianxin, I had taught you the blue waves technique and given you the amorous hoop in the hope that you could protect yourself in this dangerous cultivation world, not to make you desert the sect and betray me. Yi Tianxin couldn't help but laugh after listening. Old man, do you think you can still treat me like you used to? You are old and no longer the same Ji Tiandao who could throw the world into chaos. This place is the graveyard I personally designed for you. The surrounding cultivators began to sense carefully and discovered that this place was not as simple as it seemed on the surface. You dare to scold your master? Be careful of being struck by lightning. Xia Yuaner retorted angrily. At this moment, Lu Zhou raised his hand to signal it was okay, then continued asking, who leaked my whereabouts to you? Was it old 7th, old 5th, or that good-for-nothing old 8th? Yi Tianxin slowly spoke. I don't need them to tell me. I don't mind telling you the truth. The kidnapping of the CI family was my plan, and the goal was to lure little junior sister and you out of Jingting Court Mountain. Pan Zhong looked worried after hearing this. You are the one who gave me the task. What if this old villain didn't show up? Yi Tianxin coldly replied, you're asking too many questions. Just do what you're supposed to do and take your deserved reward. After getting the answer he wanted, Lu Zhou didn't waste any more words. Well, I've killed many people in the past, and I don't mind killing a few more. Hearing this, the surrounding cultivators all took out their weapons, as if facing a formidable enemy. However, Yi Tianxin appeared fearless. Why are you still pretending, old thing? The secret drug of Primal Fiend. A dose of this drug can boost a cultivator's energy for a short time, but the side effect is that the cultivation base will reduce to half for 10 days. And it cannot be consumed again. Mentioning this name, Lu Zhou recalled in his mind, this secret drug was invented by the Medicine King in the past, but it was boycotted by the orthodox sects in the world because of its overly brutal and evil effects. Over time, it disappeared. He just didn't expect them to think of this secret drug. Seeing Lu Zhou silent, Yi Tianxin became more confident in her guess. There's one more piece of bad news I have to tell you. I've placed down an array here, which has greatly weakened energy. Even if you have the secret drug and take it in your desperation, it will be in vain. Well, that's all I want to say. Master, this is the last time I call you master. When you're dead, I'll order someone to properly bury you and handle Jingting Court Mountain. Oh, right, the experts of the righteous sect should have arrived at Jingting Court Mountain. Third senior brother is wounded, so I think fourth senior brother must have surrendered by now. Yi Tianxin spoke while retreating back into the crowd. Xia Yuaner, upon hearing about the array, hastily asked what they should do. Lu Zhou confidently assured her there was no need to be afraid. Wang Fugui suddenly ran out from the woods. After glancing at the fallen CI family's master, he knelt beside Lu Zhou and pleaded, "Old mister, please save my master." Having said that, he suddenly pulled out a short sword from his chest. While no one was paying attention, he leaped forward and aimed straight at Lu Zhou's back. This unexpected scene left everyone stunned on the spot. Xia Yuaner's face showed worry as she urgently warned him. Morong Hai's mouth gaped in disbelief, as Wang Fugui was actually a divine court realm expert. Yi Tianxin's excitement was beyond words. The distance was too close, leaving almost no chance to dodge the attack. Even a nascent divinity tribulation realm cultivator would be unable to withstand this unguarded strike without injury. Wang Fugui, full of confidence, continued to exert force. However, the next second, he became dumbfounded because the short sword could not penetrate any further. What's going on? This is an earth-grade treasure, coated with a strong poison. With my full-strength attack as a divine court realm cultivator, why can't I feel it piercing his body? Wang Fugui was in a panic, raising his head to see the short sword seemingly blocked by an invisible force outside of Lu Zhou's body. At this moment, Lu Zhou's face was full of disdain. "Why do I need to take a drug to kill you all?" He suddenly unleashed his powerful aura, forming circles of energy that knocked Wang Fugui away. The ripple-like energy kept spreading, reaching the sky. Seeing this scene, the righteous cultivators were shocked. Not good. The old villain did this on purpose. It is not the old villain who has fallen into a trap, but us. Yi Tianxin, you are such a scheming woman. Ah! All Brahma Sea Realm cultivators were blown away, unable to resist. Yi Tianxin's eyes widened, her body trembling. She couldn't understand why the array failed or why the old man could still take the secret drug. What went wrong? At this moment, Lu Zhou took a deep breath. The feeling of being at the peak was great. It was like a long-stored flood breaking through a dam, instantly regaining his full cultivation and power. After savoring this for a moment, he turned his icy gaze towards Yi Tianxin. Yi Tianxin, you had made a divine court assassin disguise as a steward in the CI family? Do you think I didn't know that? For many years, she had lost the sense of fear, but gradually, that feeling of dread resurfaced. Her well-thought-out plan was completely forgotten. Lu Zhou simply raised his arm slightly, and the severely injured Wang Fugui flew uncontrollably towards him. Everyone in the world knows about the Imperial tokens, so how could Morong Hai not identify it? You shouldn't get in the way. At this moment, Wang Fugui was trembling with fear. When he first saw Lu Zhou and Xia Yuaner, he wasn't sure whether they were the evildoers from Jingting Mountain or not. It was only when he got the token that he confirmed everything. He had thought about assassinating them at night, but he always felt that the old man was not an evildoer from Jingting Mountain, and he was also afraid of ruining Yi Tianxin's plan, so he didn't take action in the end. You can't kill me, Wang Fugui stuttered, trying to reveal the forces behind him to save his life. Every divine court realm expert has some kind of backing to some extent, but does it matter? Or was there any force in the world that could frighten the great evildoer? No, Lu Zhou didn't want to listen to his nonsense. He closed his fingers and directly ended Wang Fugui's life, gaining 200 merit points for killing a divine court realm evildoer. He can't last long. Don't be afraid, Yi Tianxin said, her heart filled with fear. After leaving these words, she leaped up and jumped onto her flying chariot, disappearing into the sky without looking back. Pan Zhong, realizing what happened, was terrified. He quickly begged for mercy. "Senior, I was used by others. I never intended to be your enemy. Please spare my life." He understood that it was almost impossible to escape the attention of such a powerful expert, and begging for mercy was the only chance for survival. After hearing this, Lu Zhou scanned the crowd, noticing there were about 15 Divine Court Realm experts and more than 100 Brahma Sea Realm cultivators. He paused for a moment and then spoke, "I'll give you a chance. If you leave without a single Brahma Sea Realm cultivator remaining, I'll grant you the 6-yang technique. You can choose life or death." With that, he snapped his fingers, and a blessed light descended from the sky. The divine beast Whitesword stepped on the void and slowly landed in front of Lu Zhou. "Take your father back to Blue Sun Mountain. Wait for my return." "Yes, master," Xia Yuaner replied and left in front of everyone. Pan Zhong, seeing this, was shocked. The legendary mount, countless treasures, weapons, and techniques were all in the hands of the old evildoer, just as rumored. Having thought about it, he decisively knelt on the ground and bowed. "I'm willing to serve, senior." "Very well," Lu Zhou said, and then he lightly tapped his toes and flew into the air. His powerful aura spread out in all directions, and the Divine Court Realm experts had to summon their Dharma bodies to resist the pressure. The weaker cultivators fled like frightened dogs. 100 tribulations in sight. As Lu Zhou's words fell, a towering golden phantom appeared like a mountain in an instant, evoking awe. So powerful. Senior's cultivation is so high. Why did you deceive me? Thinking back on the past, everyone laughed at me for being a demon. Then I'll be a demon. Go to hell. A cold light flashed in Pan Zhong's eyes, and he immediately attacked the nearest cultivator. Screams filled the air as the Brahma Sea Realm cultivators were slaughtered. The Divine Court Realm experts flying low had no time to care for their companions. Their only thought was to escape. Imperfect heaven's favor. An observant cultivator recognized Lu Zhou's move and recalled the scene when they besieged Jinting Mountain. He quickly shouted for everyone to disperse. It's a straight cutting technique. Don't gather together. But the next second, as Lu Zhou swung his sword, dark clouds gathered in the sky, rolling and swirling. The sword beams turned black, and dark clouds rolled in the sky, the sword devil's destiny. As Lu Zhou finished gathering his energy, the sound of swords cutting through the air filled the sky. The black sword attacks fell like heavy rain, piercing through the bodies of countless cultivators without any resistance or screams. It was then they realized, it was the Guiyuan sword technique, the famous ultimate skill of Yu Shangrong, one of the villains of Jinting Court Mountain. Unfortunately, it's already too late now. These black sword feathers are not only extremely fast, but their power is also terrifying to the extreme. Even a nascent Divinity Tribulation Realm expert would find it difficult to survive under this move, let alone them. Indeed, in the face of absolute strength, any conspiracy and tricks will become pale and powerless. Killed 15 Divine Court Realm targets, gained 3,000 merit points. After dealing with these people, Lu Zhou looked into the distance. Divine technique, blink. With a swoosh, he disappeared from this place along with his huge Dharma body. Another great move? Morong Hai and Pan Zhong were shocked beyond belief. At this time, the sixth disciple Yi Tianxin was controlling the flying chariot, speeding through the sky. Although she didn't understand why this old thing was even stronger than in his peak period, under the full-speed flight of the flying chariot, except for great divine abilities, it was difficult for anyone to catch up. Thinking of this, she felt much more at ease. He didn't chase me. It seems that the old thing had unleashed his 100 tribulations inside Avatar just now. There will be a long time in the future. We will meet again. A faint smile appeared on Yi Tianxin's lips, but at this moment, a sudden humming of sound waves began to echo in her ears. Who is it? She looked around in confusion, only to see a towering Dharma body walking side by side with her. Lu Zhou coldly looked at her. You are an evil disciple. Yi Tianxin's eyes widened in shock. Master. Then he slowly raised his arm, and the overwhelming pressure on his body suddenly erupted. In an instant, a giant palm covering the sky appeared. Seeing this, a touch of despair appeared in Yi Tianxin's eyes. 100 tribulations inside Avatar, 100 feet high and 20 feet wide, with 8 leaves. No, it's 9 leaves. The 9th leaf has already bloomed, plus the strongest move, the Fiend Monk's Hand Seal. How much strength does this old thing still have left? Amorous Hoop. Yi Tianxin, naturally, wouldn't just sit and wait for death, and immediately used her strongest weapon to resist. Lu Zhou knew that the biggest reliance for her to reach today's position was this heaven-grade weapon, Amorous Hoop. However, since I can give you a weapon, I can also take it back. Give it back to me. As his words fell, the giant palm slowly closed towards the Amorous Hoop. Seeing this scene, Yi Tianxin screamed desperately. Stop! The Amorous Hoop, as its name implied, was a hoop but with sharp edges. When a cultivator filled it with energy, its power would be even more terrifying. The amorous in its name did not symbolize love, but hatred. It meant that no matter what it tangled with, it would never let go. We must take it back, because once we lose the amorous hoop, even if we can escape today, our strength will be greatly reduced. Thinking of this, Yi Tianxin used her ultimate move, Blue Wave's technique. With a loud shout, a wave made of mighty muster energy appeared out of thin air, rushing towards the fist in midair. Unfortunately, you're facing an opponent who knows this technique better than you. Blue Wave's technique. Break, Lu Zhou said, and his body erupted with surging waves, rolling in the opposite direction. Compared to that, Yi Tianxin's Blue Wave's technique was like a small puddle, insignificant. This old man really doesn't give any hope. Yi Tianxin had no choice but to protect herself with all her strength. The next second, the huge wave came with a domineering gale, and she was severely hit, spitting blood and swaying. Then she was hit like a shooting star across the sky. Lu Zhou glanced around after seeing this, not sensing any other evildoers nearby. This is strange. According to previous thoughts, Yi Tianxin alone shouldn't have the guts. Since there's none, he didn't linger and immediately used the divine power blink to chase after her. before she even landed, he had already arrived below, then emotionlessly raised his arm. The muster energy burst out mightily. As his palm clenched, this energy instantly wrapped around Yi Tianxin's body. At this moment, her eyes were filled with fear and shock. Her breathing became rapid. Disrespecting your master and ancestors, defying me, I will take back everything I gave you, Lu Zhou said, and a powerful muster energy gathered at his fingertips. What are you doing, old man? Yi Tianxin trembled, her face pale. As she realized the danger, she tried to beg for mercy, but there was no room for negotiation now. The muster energy accurately hit her dantian. The dantian shattered, and her cultivation was lost. This meant that she had gone from the high-ranking Yanyu Palace Master to an ordinary person. Yi Tianxin was completely stunned. For cultivators, there is nothing more cruel in this world than losing cultivation. Back then, she sought to become stronger, willingly joined Jinting Mountain despite her fears, and went through countless hardships to achieve her current status and accomplishments. She enjoyed the worship of others and countless auras. Now, all this vanished with the destruction of her dantian. Ha! Kill me, old man. She smiled bitterly, revealing a crazed expression. Incorrigible. Lu Zhou raised his hand and slapped her in the face. If you want to kill or torture, do as you please. Ha! Poor third senior brother and fourth senior brother. They could have escaped this catastrophe. Why did it have to be this way? It's all your fault they died. From now on, there will be no Jinting Mountain in this world, Yi Tianxin said while laughing. Lu Zhou's face remained unchanged when he heard this. There are only 5 minutes left in the peak state. Even if I use the divine power blink, I'm afraid it's too late. However, fortunately, the system did not prompt Old 4 and the others to have an accident. That means they are not in danger at the moment. Besides, Old 4 isn't stupid. He won't fight to the death. With this in mind, Lu Zhou spoke. Fool. Yi Tianxin was stunned upon hearing this. The old devil used to scold people differently. Fifth senior sister said that master has changed and become more unpredictable and unfathomable. As long as I'm alive, no one dares to ride on Jinting Mountain's head, Lu Zhou said, and then reached out and grabbed her. Thinking that he was going to kill her, Yi Tianxin subconsciously leaned back. But when she opened her eyes again, she was extremely surprised. Lu Zhou was holding her shoulder, and they were rapidly flying through the air. Mountains constantly passed by in front of them. No, this is the great divine ability, the soul chase. Why is it like this? Can the old man continuously use divine techniques without mobilizing muster energy? How did he do it? Although cultivators could live longer than common people, their cultivation base would decline in the decades or centuries before their death. Starting from the body tempering realm, the body was the key to cultivators' achievement. The realms of mystic enlightening, sense condensing, and Brahma Sea were all related to bodies. When the body aged, meridians, dantian, and sea of qi would lose their vitality and potential to continue expanding, resulting in the stagnation of the cultivation base. At that moment, combat experience, life experiences, schemes, and plots, as well as external forces, are the keys for a cultivator to maintain his or her strength. But Ji Tiandao is already so old. Why is he stronger than before? She asked unwillingly. Why? I admit that I made a mistake, but you won't be better off if you catch me. Lu Zhou frowned slightly upon hearing this. Have you said enough? Then, he opened a part of the wind barrier in front of her. The next second, the strong wind roared like a knife, scraping past. After they left this place, some movement came from the dense jungle below. 8th disciple Zhu Honggong sat paralyzed on the ground, breaking out in a cold sweat. In front of him stood a man in luxurious clothes. It was Ji Tiandao's 7th disciple Si Wuya, 7th senior brother. Luckily you came in time. Otherwise, I would have become cannon fodder. Hearing this, Si Wuya shook his head. Old 8, you've always listened to my advice. Why did you suddenly collude with 6th senior sister? Hearing this, Zhu Honggong replied with a crying tone. Recently, I've been having nightmares of master beating me up. I'm scared. How about I merge my Tiger Ridge gang with your Crouching Dragon Darknet? Si Wuya gently shook his feather fan, refusing the other's request. Forget it. You'd better keep your little gang. Why? You saw master's avatar. 6th senior sister will certainly sell me out and I will be finished, Zhu Honggong said and showed a panicked expression. Hearing this, Si Wuya sighed helplessly. Yi Tianxin thought she could find out master's trump cards with this group of divine court experts. It's simply a pipe dream. If master really got weaker, she would not have gotten her turn to attack him. 7th senior brother, did you see how many moves master had used to kill 15 divine court cultivators? I don't know. Why? You are so clever. Stop it. You call yourself the evil king, and yet you also don't know, do you? Well, I can scare others with my title, but I'll never dare to show off in front of my senior brothers. Hearing this, Si Wuya glanced at him. somewhat regretting persuading him to leave Jinting Mountain. This fool was holding them back. He then paused and reminded, "From now on, you must sever ties with Yenyu Palace." Why? Xu Honggong was somewhat puzzled. Yi Tianxin led orthodox cultivators to attack Master. She failed miserably, but she did not bring anyone from her derived Moon Palace. What will the powers behind those cultivators think of this? When Master was pursuing 6th senior sister, I briefly inspected the arrays she placed down. I found something wrong with the array's pattern. If my guess is correct, senior sister Zhao Yu got cold feet. Hearing this, Xu Honggong was amazed. Zhao Yu's senior sister was involved too. Siwei Yan nodded and continued. When she left Jinting Court Mountain, I had already received the information that she had gone to the derived Moon Palace. With 6th senior sister's temper, she must have drawn 5th senior sister to her side. Senior sister Zhao Yu is the best candidate to control the array. Also, Pan Zhong is a deserter of the Clarity sect. He had only learned the 3 Yin styles and is suffering from the bitter coldness that fills his body. 6th senior sister used him as a bait to lure little junior sister, which will most likely displease the Clarity sect. What about Wang Fugue? Xu Honggong asked doubtfully. Siwei Yan gazed deeply into the sky. This is a clever move from 6th senior sister. Wang Fugui's real name is Xin Yuan. He is an expert under Lady Jade, the consort of Great Yan's emperor. Lady Jade is also the younger sister of the Princess of the West, whom the emperor had married. The Princess of the West was killed by the 2nd senior brother, but everyone pinned the blame on the Master. What Master did may displease Great Yan's emperor, and it may even stir up a dispute between 2 states, resulting in a war. The people will suffer just because of the grudge between a few people. Moreover, the 15 Divine Court cultivators came from 3 different sects in the southern region of the Great Yan. Many years ago, the 3 sects' Earth grade and below weapons were all destroyed by Master's Heaven grade weapon. They never got their revenge, and now with their experts killed, there is a whole new enmity. What do you think the 3 sects will do? Xu Honggong's face showed disbelief after hearing this. These are all parts of 6th senior sister's plan. Unfortunately, no matter how good the scheme is, it is meaningless in front of absolute power. Yi Tianxin could not have expected that Master could keep using Soul Chase. This series of divine techniques indeed subverted everyone's cognition, and Master's fighting style was extremely fast, almost not giving Yi Tianxin any chance to lay out her plans. Xu Honggong suddenly felt terrified after hearing these words. No, I don't want to be the gang leader anymore. I want to go back to my hometown. I'm not a good player like you all, but I can always hide. Not long after, Lu Zhou arrived at the Blue Sun Mountain. At this time, Xia Yuaner also happened to ride her whitesword over. Yuaner, keep an eye on her. After saying that, Lu Zhou left Yi Tianxin and walked to the side. The effects of his peak experience card had worn off. Xia Yuaner agreed and looked at senior sister with a huff. Yi Tianxin seemed to have sensed something. She chuckled. I never thought the mighty old villain would have such a sorry moment. You know nothing. Master is getting old. Can he take a break? Xia Yuaner retorted mercilessly. Realizing her mistake, she quickly apologized to her master. Lu Zhou waved his hand, indicating it was no big deal. Although Yi Tianxin's cultivation was crippled, her tone was still full of sarcasm. If I were you, I would rush back to Jinting Court Mountain at once. Didn't you say that no one will dare to bully Jinting Court Mountain as long as you are still alive? Haha. Unfortunately, Jinting Court Mountain will change owners today.